Yo, my name is S.A.V, co-founder of Phantom X and creator of the sci-fi anime series Exile Protocol. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how I built the visual style of the show, how I approach scenes, and how Invideo's Agent 1 helps me bring all of these ideas to life. First and foremost, let's talk about the look. The look of Exile Protocol is one of the most important aspects of the show. I spent a lot of time crafting this world, and it's one of the first things that people really connect with. It all comes from my absolute love of anime. Shows like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Outlaw Star, Big O, Gundam Wing, and of course so many others helped shape my imagination growing up. What I wasn't trying to recreate though was just the art style. I was trying to recreate a feeling. That feeling of racing home from school, firing up the 64 or the Dreamcast, and waiting for Toonami to come on at midnight. That sense of wonder is really the DNA of Exile Protocol. Agent 1 became a huge part of that process because it allowed me to quickly explore my environments, characters, visual ideas, all while keeping the overall direction consistent. For this series, the foundation was built primarily with Seedream 4.5. It really locked the visual identity of my world, from the characters to the environments, while maintaining that nice separation between the two. What I loved about it was the way it handled my backgrounds, architecture, environmental details, while still preserving the character designs and keeping the visual language distinct between the two like I had intended. Ironically, some of the more powerful models, which could have accelerated production, were unusable as they completely crushed the look into more of like a storyboard or illustrative style, which is not what we want at all in a high-end production. Then, after locking the visual style, Seedance 2.0 became the animation pipeline, allowing me to bring those images into motion while preserving the overall look. What I especially love about Seedance is how well it handles anime-inspired movement, producing clean HD animations while maintaining that stylized 2 to 3 frame aesthetic that gives the series its traditional feel. Once all the visuals are generated, that's where the post-production comes in. I do a final pass in DaVinci Resolve where I add the finishing touches and color to help bring everything together. My fave animes lived on CRT televisions, VHS tapes, late night broadcasts. There was this sort of texture to them, a warmth, a character that came from the medium itself. So I used subtle post-production treatments to help recreate some of that feeling. Film grain, color grading, and small imperfections that really help the series feel like it comes from that classic era of 90s television. One of the most powerful parts of working with Agent 1 is its ability to understand the context. Before I ever start creating scenes, I spend time building out the world, the scripts, character sheets, reference images, locations, visual guidelines, all my character backstories, and feed it all into the project. That context becomes the building blocks for everything that comes after. Agent 1 understands my world, the characters, visuals, even the tools and the models that I prefer to use. Once that foundation is in place, I don't need complicated prompts anymore, which is awesome. I can simply talk to it like a co-director. It already understands the language of the project. For example, while working on episode 4, I wanted to create a new advisor character for this Admiral Valton scene. I had this rough idea in my head, so I started with a quick sketch. I provided the sketch to Agent 1 along with the existing Exile Protocol world context. Using everything it already knew about the series, Agent 1 generated multiple character concepts that felt like they already belonged in the world. Next, I provided a reference for the environment and described the shot that I wanted. Because Agent 1 already understands the characters, locations, and my style, I could focus entirely on directing the scene rather than explaining the world from scratch. I generated silver options, selected the strongest shot, and brought it directly into my edit. From there, I add sound effects, score the scene, make a few final tweaks, and that's a wrap. What started as a rough sketch or a prompt is now a finished moment inside the world of Exile Protocol.
Admiral Valton will be docking with our station in 30 minutes.
We're living in an incredible time for storytellers. Tools like Agent 1 are opening the doors that simply didn't exist a few years ago. Exile Protocol is proof that individual creators or small teams with a vision can build worlds that once required an entire studio. Thanks for watching.